Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. Now, if somebody came up to you and said, I've heard a single by this chap called Elton John and I want to find out more. Which album would you recommend that they should buy? Well, one of my subscribers posed that very question to me quite recently. So I thought I'd make a video giving you some suggestions. Now, if they can only buy one album, which one would we suggest? Well, as usual, I'm dealing only with studio albums. I don't approve of greatest hits collections, compilations, that sort of thing. Let's stick with the real albums. Let's listen to the tracks in the proper order as the artist intended. So if it's just one album, I would suggest, and no surprises here perhaps, that they go to Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. Why? Because, well, first, it's a double album, so you get plenty for your money. But also, this is a masterclass in songwriting, and we get lots of different aspects of Elton on here. We get the ballads like Goodbye Yellow Brick Road and the wonderful Harmony, one of my favourite tracks. We get the rocking numbers like Love Lies Bleeding, Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting, Grey Seal. We get these kind of quirky songs like Sweet Painted Lady, and the wonderful nostalgic Roy Rogers, and we get a great instrumental like Funeral for a Friend. So although it's a very early work, of course, from 1973, I think this is a great place to start. Frankly, if you don't like this, then, well, what hope is there really? Because it's a wonderful album, and you can go in lots of different directions, and you meet all the different Eltons here. We know there's 3 or 4 different Eltons, aren't there, who are really good at rock and roll, really good at ballads, love songs, quirky songs, all sorts of things. Americana as well is in there, isn't it? So if you're only going for one, give them this album. However, what if they say, well, I'm going to buy 2 albums? So I'm going to face that challenge next. I'm not going to repeat my choices either, so I'm going for different albums each time. But if you're going for 2 albums, I would suggest getting them this one, Don't Shoot Me, I'm Only the Piano Player. This one from 1973 as well. Now, single album this, but a fine collection of songs. We know the classics, don't we, of Daniel and Crocodile Rock. But what else do you get? Well, you get these big songs from Elton, these big dramatic songs, Blues for My Baby and Me, High Flying Bird, both great songs, and the wonderfully dramatic Have Mercy on the Criminal. You also get a rocker like Elderberry Wine, and these nice, quirky, amusing songs like Teacher, I Need You, and I'm Gonna Be a Teenage Idol. Lots of quality on this album. It's also a beautiful album cover, as we know. So I would give them that as the first one, and then I would have a contrasting one from later in his career. And I've chosen from 2006, The Captain and the Kid. Now, this is Elton's companion piece to Captain Fantastic, and it's kind of reviewing his career from 2006 going backwards. Quite a nice collection of songs this. I mean, they're not all brilliant, but it's a good collection of 10. It includes the wonderful The Bridge, which I think is a great song, but lots of other good ones as well. Postcards from Richard Nixon is strong. Tinderbox, Old 67 as well. And just like Noah's Ark and the title track itself. So there's lots to enjoy on that. And you get the contrasting parts of Elton's career in that. So if they only want 2 albums, those are the 2 I would suggest. But what if they've said, well, I want to buy 3 albums because, you know, Elton has been producing music for 50 years. We can only do it justice really by sampling 3 different parts of his career. We might suggest that they start in 1971 with the wonderful Madman Across the Water. Now, I don't think they could have this as a first album because it might give them slightly the wrong impression about what Elton stands for. This is a serious album, but it's a brilliant album as well. Tiny Dancer, they'll probably know. They won't know Leave On or Madman Across the Water. They certainly won't know Indian Sunset, but they'll be very impressed by it. Rotten Peaches as well. All the nasties, lots of interesting things on there. It is dark, we know, but combined with other albums, they'll get a good impression of Elton. So I'd give them that one first. Then I would dip into 1983 and give them Too Low for Zero. A real contrast to Madman. How can this be the same artist? Well, this is the artist who gives us I'm Still Standing, I guess that's why they call it the blues. Kiss the Bride, of course. Few of the songs there not quite as strong. Cold as Christmas, pretty decent track there. And Too Low for Zero is an interesting one in the synthesizer era. So that might make a second one in the little present package we're giving them. And the third one I might give them, 2016, Wonderful Crazy Night. Elton's most recent issue, really, apart from the lockdown sessions coming up. I enjoy this album. Some really good tracks on here. The title track, Wonderful Crazy Night, of course, is fine. Looking Up, I really enjoy. Blue Wonderful as well on that. Lots of people like the open chord, England and America. So lots to enjoy on that, and it's good quality stuff, even though it came out just quite recently, late in his career. So again, those three wrapped up underneath the Christmas tree, that's going to give somebody a really good start on Elton John. But what if they've said, I want 4 albums by Elton John? Just pick me any 4 that give me a really good spread of what he's done in his career. Well, which 4 would I go for? Well, I'd start them off with the classic Tumbleweed Connection. What can we say about this brilliant album? It's a concept album. It contains a really high quality of songwriting throughout. What have we got here? We've got Burn Down the Mission, of course. We've got the fantastic Come Down in Time, one of my favourite ever tracks. My Father's Gun, Love Song, and the sublime Talking Old Soldiers. So lots to enjoy on that one. The second one I would give them, maybe just to give them a taste of the 80s, would be The Fox. Not a perfect album by any means, but some interesting material on here. As you know, I'm a huge fan of Just Like Belgium, possibly the only fan of this song in the whole of Great Britain and America, but I love that song. Nobody Wins as well. Carla Etude, of course, is a little bit of a masterpiece there, leading into Fanfare and Chloe. And you've got Heels of the Wind, Elton's song, lovely ballad as well. So that's a good example of an 80s album from Elton. And then we might go to the 90s, maybe overlooked, but Made in England is a fine collection of songs. Good quality songwriting here, good quality production, lots to enjoy on here. What have we got? We've got the title track, we've got Please is a lovely song, isn't it? We've got things like House, we've got Blessed as well, fine ballad that one. So lots to enjoy on that. And the fourth one I would give them from 2001 is Songs from the West Coast. Again, another good collection here. It's got, of course, This Train Don't Stop Here anymore on it. What have we got else? We've got The Ballad of the Boy in the Red Shoes, Original Sin, Dark Diamond. So lots of good tracks on that one. And that gives you, a good spread of albums there, going from 1970 to 2001. So 31 classic years spanned there. Well, those are my suggestions. Which album would you give as the first one to maybe a young person, might have heard Elton's duet with Dua Lipa, and they're saying to you, well, give me an album. Which one should I start with? What's my entry-level album for Elton John? Let me know below. If you want to do the 2, 3 and 4, please do that as well. I'll have a look at your comments and come back with another video if there are enough. Subscribe if you want to. I'll be back with another review soon. Don't forget, we're still standing.